That's my beer.
That's my beer.
That's my beer.
That's my beer.
You don't have to be rich to enjoy a beer as rich and smooth as Meisterbräu.
Carling Black Label, since 1840.
Have you ever wondered what beers from the 1950s might taste like today? Can you imagine savoring a brew crafted with unique character and community pride? The 1950s were an era of brewing innovation and regional specialties, where local breweries created genuinely distinctive beers. Join us as we rediscover 20 forgotten beers from the 1950s we want back.
Sure, I can pick any beer now, but Meisterbräu tastes every bit as good as Budweiser.
Meisterbräu, once a popular beer in the U.S., has faded into obscurity. Produced by the Miller Brewing Company, it was a familiar sight at parties, barbecues, and college gatherings during the 1960s. Meisterbräu was the second best-selling beer in the country, only trailing behind Schlitz. At its peak, it sold over 1.5 million barrels annually, making it a significant player in the beer market. Meisterbräu was an American pale lager with a 4.5% alcohol by volume. Its flavor profile featured hops, malt, yeast, and grain. However, the brand's popularity declined, and by 1978, Meisterbräu had disappeared from store shelves. Its demise was due to changing consumer preferences and intense competition that likely contributed to its downfall. Despite this, Miller Brewing Company eventually acquired the rights to the Meisterbräu name, keeping its legacy alive in memory. While some remember it fondly, others describe it as harsh and bitter. As Meisterbräu's popularity waned due to changing taste and fierce competition, another iconic brew faced a similar fate. Knickerbocker beer, once beloved in New York, vanished by the 1970s. What happened to this New York favorite? Let's explore.
Knickerbocker beer, the beer that is less filling and more delicious. There has never before, been a beer that is so low in calories that takes...
Knickerbocker beer, once a beloved New York brew, has faded into history. Created by the Rupert Brewery, located at 92nd and 2nd in New York City, it gained widespread popularity. The beer became the official drink of the New York Giants, which was ironic given that Jacob Rupert, known as the Colonel, owned the New York Yankees during the Ruth and Gehrig era. While exact sales figures are hard to find, Knickerbocker beer was incredibly popular. It was a common sight at parties, ball games, and neighborhood bars, with 2 million barrels consumed annually, cementing its place in the beer market. Unfortunately, by the late 1960s, the Rupert Brewery closed its doors. Another brewery acquired the Knickerbocker brand, but ultimately disappeared during the 70s. Changing consumer taste and fierce competition led to its downfall, ending the legacy of this once iconic New York beer.
Now pour me a glass of National Bohemian and I'll be satisfied.
National Bohemian beer, lovingly called Natty Bo, has a rich history in Baltimore, Maryland. The National Brewing Company first brewed the beer in 1885 and became a staple in Baltimore. Nearly 90% of Natty Bo's sales were in the Baltimore area, with the beer gaining immense popularity among Orioles fans at Memorial Stadium during the late 1960s. Annual sales during its peak years reached approximately 400,000 barrels. The original brewery in Baltimore shut down in 1978, and production was moved to a modern facility in Halethorpe. Despite these changes, the beer's iconic one-eyed, mustachioed mascot, Mr. Bo, has remained a recognizable symbol on its label since 1936. Through the years, Natty Bo navigated a series of mergers and acquisitions and is now part of the Pabst Brewing Company.
How refreshing is a cold Hamm's beer? As refreshing as the land of sky blue waters.
Hamm's beer has a long history, starting in 1865 when it was first brewed in Minnesota. Known as the beer born in the land of sky blue waters, it became a classic American premium beer. When the Miller Brewing Company took over production, Hamm's beer became widely available. Crafted with pure water, choice barley malt, grain, and hops, Hamm's offered a low to moderate body, mild bitterness, and a hoppy aroma, making it a favorite among beer enthusiasts. At its peak, Hamm's beer sold over 5 million barrels annually, showcasing its popularity. Despite its success, changing market dynamics led to a decline in Hamm's beer, resulting in its discontinuation in many states. However, Hamm's beer is still available in some locations.
Black Label. national beer. Get the premium brew at the popular price. Enjoy the best, take our advice.
Carling Black Label, a lager brewed by the Carling Brewing Company, has a rich history. Carling initially focused on ale but began brewing lager-style beers in the 1870s. In 1927, under the leadership of J. Ince Carling, they rebranded their black and white lager as a Black Label, paving the way for its global success. Black Label was the first beer brewed on a large international scale, and it became trendy in Commonwealth countries like the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. In Canada, Carling expanded with a 3-story lager plant to meet changing taste, and their black and white lager, now known as Black Label Lager, gained fame. At its peak, Black Label sold over 5.5 million barrels annually. However, shifts in the market led to its decline, and it was discontinued in many places by the late 1990s. Despite this, Black Label remains a legend, known for its robust and full-flavored taste. As we delve into the history of Carling Black Label beer, its rise and eventual decline reveal a fascinating journey of brewing mastery and market evolution. But what about the story of Old Reading beer? Let's explore its flavorful legacy next. Old Reading beer, brewed by the Reading Brewing Company, RBC, has a notable place in beer history. Founded by Philip Bissinger in 1886, RBC was based in Reading, Pennsylvania, and marketed its brew as a Pennsylvania Dutch beer. Initially, RBC produced a Pennsylvania Dutch lager, generating about 1,200 barrels annually. By 1891, production soared to approximately 50,000 barrels annually. In 1952, they modified the recipe and rebranded it as Old Reading Premium. In the 70s, they saw a resurgence with the slogan, "The friendly beer for modern people." Despite its popularity, Old Reading beer ceased operations in 1976, leaving behind a flavorful, beloved brew legacy.
It's a good drinking beer. That's how I describe Peel's. It's a good drinking beer.
Peel's beer, often called Peel's beer or Peel Brothers beer, was a famous lager brewed in Brooklyn, New York City at 315 Liberty Avenue. It was founded in 1883 by the Peel brothers, Gottfried, Michael, and Wilhelm, who combined German brewing techniques with modern science. The beer's quality benefited from the soft water from Long Island, which German brewers prefer. At its peak, Peel's beer produced over 1.5 million barrels annually, establishing a solid presence in the American brewing industry. The brewery's Pennsylvania Dutch lager became well known across the country. Despite its success, Peel's struggled against marketing pressures from larger competitors like Anheuser-Busch and Miller. Even with effective point-of-sale advertising, the brewery needed help maintaining its market position. After 90 years in business, Peel's beer ceased operations in 1973, marking the end of an era for the beloved regional lager.
Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Schlitz beer, brewed in the USA since 1849, is significant in American brewing history. Known for its tagline, "The beer that made Milwaukee famous," Schlitz was once the largest beer producer in the U.S. Founded by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this iconic brand gained fame for its pale lager with a smooth, refreshing taste. Its blend of Cascade, Mount Hood, and Willamette hops contributed to a balanced flavor profile, combining mild bitterness with sweetness. During its peak, Schlitz enjoyed immense popularity, reaching sales of 1 million barrels annually. The brand slogan, "When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer," became iconic, reflecting its cultural impact. Despite facing challenges in the latter half of the 20th century, Schlitz remains cherished among beer enthusiasts as a symbol of heritage and quality craftsmanship. Schlitz was discontinued in 1982 due to declining sales and financial difficulties, marking the end of an era for this once dominant American beer brand. Schlitz beer, a cornerstone of American brewing since 1849, held the nation's love with its iconic tagline. But what about Blatz beer, another Milwaukee legend? Let's uncover its story and how it shaped the city's brewing heritage.
That Milwaukee brewing tradition is alive today. Blatz is still brewed the old world way.
Blatt's Beer, brewed by Valentine Blatt's Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was a beloved American lager from 1851 until its discontinuation in 1959. Known as Milwaukee's finest, Blatt's Beer played a significant role in the city's brewing heritage. By 1868, the brewery produced 16,000 barrels annually, solidifying its place as one of Milwaukee's top brewers. During Prohibition, Blatt's adapted by producing non-alcoholic beverages like malt soda and near beer, keeping its operations afloat until brewing could resume legally in 1933. However, despite its resilience, Blatt's Beer faced a pivotal moment in 1959 when a government ruling blocked its sale to the Pabst Brewing Company. This decision ultimately led to the closure of Blatt's Beer production. Today, the Blatt's label continues under a contract between Pabst Brewing Company and Miller Brewing Company, offering an adjunct lager that combines malt, hops, and vanilla flavors. Ortlieb's beer has a storied history dating back to the 1880s, when the Ortlieb family began brewing in Philadelphia's Northern Liberties neighborhood. Trupert Ortlieb, a Civil War veteran, acquired a brewery that flourished until Prohibition halted production. Following World War II, Ortlieb's peaked, boasting a robust brewing capacity of up to 500,000 barrels annually. In 1981, the brand was acquired by the Christian Schmidt Brewing Company, and production moved to the Schmidt Brewery. Subsequent ownership changes, including a stint under G. Howman Brewing Company, before being acquired by an Australian firm. Today, Ortlieb's lager continues to be brewed in Baltimore, maintaining its historical roots and distinctive flavor profile. Despite the exact annual sales figures being elusive, Ortlieb's remains a cherished part of beer history, appreciated for its enduring appeal and nostalgic value. The brand eventually ceased production in the late 1990s, marking the end of an era for a beer that played a significant role in Philadelphia's brewing heritage and beyond.
Hudipole is coming at you, the fresh taste for today. Have a happy Hudi, flavors on the way.
Hudipole Brewing Company, established in 1885 by Ludwig Hudipole II in Cincinnati, Ohio, holds a significant place in the hearts of beer enthusiasts, particularly for its flagship brew, Hudi Delight. This crisp and light beer became an icon, synonymous with local pride, even inspiring the famous Who Dey Bengals chant in Cincinnati. Hudi Delight achieved remarkable sales at its peak, totaling over 1.5 million barrels annually. Another notable offering from Hudipole was the Hudipole Amber Lager, characterized by its dark amber hue and rich roasted malt, caramel, and dark bread flavors. While not achieving the same sales heights as Hudi Delight, it still garnered respectable attention before being discontinued. Unfortunately, the production of Hudi Delight was discontinued. Still, the beer has since been reintroduced with a refreshed can design that aims to capture its original charm with a more vibrant appeal. As we delve into the legacy of Hudipole beer, we see how deeply regional pride can influence a beer's popularity. Now, curious about another iconic brewery's impact? Let's explore Berghoff's beer's rich heritage and its recent revival. What new flavors await us there?
Berghoff beer is now being brewed by the Huber Brewery in Monroe, Wisconsin, and is still available in Fort Wayne.
The Berghoff Brewery, established by brothers Herman, Henry, and Hubert in 1887, left a lasting impression on Fort Wayne, Indiana. Originating from Dortmund, Germany, where they brewed Dortmunder beer, a light and hop-forward style, the Berghoff brothers quickly gained popularity in their new home. By the early 1900s, Dortmunder became a local favorite, selling approximately 2 million barrels annually. Their beer labels featured the brewer's star prominently, symbolizing their commitment to quality and tradition. Among the renowned brews was the Berghoff Original Lager, known for its balanced flavor, subtle fruity notes, and clean finish. Another standout was the Berghoff Oak-Aged beer, aged in oak barrels with Belgian brewer's brown sugar. It boasts flavors reminiscent of tawny port, including hints of molasses, vanilla, and toffee, with a robust 10.4% alcohol content. Despite ceasing operations at its original site, Berghoff returned in recent years with new offerings like the Seasonal Solstice Wit and the Extra Pale Ale Germaniac. This revival continues to honor the brewery's rich legacy and significant contribution to Fort Wayne's brewing heritage.
Up your lips and blow wisdom merrily.
Jack's beer, brewed by the Jackson Brewing Company in New Orleans, made a lasting impact from 1890 to 1974. This German-style Pilsner wasn't just a drink, it became a cultural symbol of the South. At its peak, Jack's was renowned as the largest brewery in the southern U.S., producing a staggering 1 million barrels annually. This brewery's success transformed it into a regional powerhouse known for its quality and popularity. By the 1950s, national competitors challenged Jackson Brewing. The company secured exclusive rights to the Jack's trademark to protect its identity, leading to the end of brewing operations in Jacksonville. Despite this shift, Jackson Brewing remained one of the top 10 breweries in the U.S. in the southern region. Following financial difficulties, Jackson Brewing was eventually acquired by the Pearl Brewing Company. Jack's beer continued to flow until 1984, when Pabst Brewing Company took over operations. As Jack's beer's legacy ended under Pabst Brewing, Narragansett beer rose from adversity to revive its New England charm. How did this brewery reclaim its place? Let's explore Narragansett's journey next.
That's my beer, made right here. Narragansett, that's my beer.
Narragansett beer, established in 1890, is New England's oldest brewery. For nearly a century, from the 1890s to the 1970s, Narragansett dominated as the top-selling beer in the region, even earning the prestigious title of the official beer of the Red Sox for over 3 decades. By its peak in 1965, Narragansett commanded an impressive 65% share of the local beer market. However, the brewery faced challenges in subsequent years, leading to a cessation of local production. It wasn't until 2005 that Narragansett saw a revival, marking a significant comeback. Today, it ranks as the 27th largest craft brewing company in the U.S. and stands out as the fastest growing in the Northeast. Narragansett Lager, its flagship brew, is celebrated for its classic American lager profile, crisp, clean, and refreshingly smooth. Located in Providence, Rhode Island, the brewery and beer garden on 271 Tockwatton Street offers visitors a chance to experience this enduring New England tradition firsthand. Narragansett has seen renewed success in recent years, driven by its commitment to quality and heritage. It resonates with beer enthusiasts seeking authentic New England brewing history. Rupert beer, crafted by the Rupert Brewery, held a special place in the hearts of mid-20th century New Yorkers. Founded by Jacob Rupert Jr., a prominent figure known for owning the New York Yankees and serving in Congress, the brewery thrived from its inception in 1867. Located across 27 buildings in New York City, Rupert beer gained renown for its commitment to quality and innovative brewing techniques. Despite Rupert's ownership of the Yankees, his Knickerbocker beer became the official brew of the New York Giants, underscoring its widespread appeal. The exact sales figures are not readily available, but historical accounts highlight its significant popularity among sports enthusiasts and residents. By the late 1960s, however, Rupert beer faced challenges that led to its discontinuation, marking the end of an era. Changing consumer preferences and shifts within the brewing industry played pivotal roles in this decision.
Old Dutch beer, old Dutch with the right touch.
Old Dutch beer was brewed in Findlay, Ohio. Known for its distinctive taste and local appeal, Old Dutch gained popularity for its smooth flavor and became a favorite among beer enthusiasts. The brewery, established as Brilliant City Brewery in 1891, began producing Old Dutch beer in the early 1900s. In the early years of Prohibition, the brewery made non-alcoholic Old Dutch beer, root beer, birch beer, and ginger ale. It closed in 1923 and stayed shut for 10 years. When Prohibition ended in 1933, the brewery reopened. In 1936, it was renamed Krantz Brewing Corporation. In 1957, Krantz Brewing Corporation merged with International Breweries Incorporated of Detroit. The brewery closed in 1966, and the Old Dutch brand was sold to Associated Brewers of Detroit. As we bid farewell to the legacy of Old Dutch beer, whose robust flavor once graced the Northeast, we must ask, what tale does Rainier beer, with its pure Northwest origins, hold for us next? Let's explore.
Fresh 'em out, fresh 'em out, fresh 'em out, fresh 'em for the reindeer sang.
Rainier Beer, a cherished brew from the Pacific Northwest, boasts a history dating back to 1878. Following the strict German purity law, it's crafted using only 4 ingredients: water, hops, yeast, and malted barley. This commitment to purity gave Rainier its distinctive taste. Originally brewed by the Rainier Brewing Company in Seattle, Washington, its formulation blended pure spring water with golden barley and lush hops, resulting in a beer known for its robust, malty flavor with subtle fruity undertones. During its peak in the 50s, Rainier beer reached remarkable popularity, selling an impressive 1.5 million barrels annually by 1957. However, shifting consumer preferences and economic factors prompted the brewery to relocate from Seattle to Irwindale, California, under the ownership of the Pabst Brewing Company. Despite efforts to adapt, Rainier beer was eventually discontinued due to declining sales and market changes in the late 60s.
Yes, stores, refreshing as the whole outdoors. Never filling, always satisfying.
Storrs Beer was a beloved brewery in North Omaha, Nebraska. It started in 1876 under Gottlieb Storrs' guidance. Known for its award-winning beers, Storrs Brewing Company operated from an impressive 6-story building adorned with red-tiled floors, stainless steel, and copper fixtures. Their flagship brew, Storrs Triumph Lager, became famous for its smooth taste. By 1960, the brewery peaked, producing a remarkable 43 million gallons of beer annually, constituting about 1/3 of all beer sales in Nebraska. Despite its success, Storrs faced challenges in the early 70s, leading to the brewery's closure in 1972. However, in a surprising turn of events, the brand was revived in 2013 by Tom Markle, the great-grandnephew of Gottlieb Storrs. This revival brought back a piece of Nebraska's brewing history, resonating with nostalgia and a renewed appreciation for its storied legacy.
Did you come here often?
If unique is what you seek, Colt 45 malt liquor.
Colt 45 beer, introduced by the National Brewing Company in 1963, is an American malt liquor known for its robust 8% alcohol by volume. The brand's logo, featuring a kicking horse and horseshoe, symbolizes its reputation for delivering an extra kick compared to standard brews. Interestingly, despite its name, the Colt 45 is named after Jerry Hill, a running back for the 1963 Baltimore Colts football team, rather than the .45 caliber handgun ammunition. During the 60s and 70s, Colt 45 targeted suburban white-collar consumers with memorable advertising campaigns. One notable campaign featured Billy Van remaining composed at a table amidst chaotic settings like beaches, airport runways, and bull rings. In 1978, the brand adopted the slogan, "That Dynamite Taste," further solidifying its identity in the malt liquor market. A significant milestone was the endorsement of actor Billy D. Williams, which added to its cultural appeal. Colt 45's annual sales peaked in the late 70s, reaching approximately 2 million barrels annually. However, changing market preferences and regulatory challenges led to its discontinuation in 1991. Colt 45 beer, famed for its robust ABV and distinctive marketing, peaked in the late 70s before challenges led to its discontinuation in 1991. What's next in the journey of iconic American brews? Let's explore Genesee Cream Ale's story.
Smooth Genesee Cream Ale. It's not the same old brewski.
Genesee Cream Ale, brewed by the Genesee Brewing Company in Rochester, New York, is a beloved American beer known for its unique blend of smooth lager and crisp ale characteristics. Launched in 1960, it aimed to offer drinkers a distinctive drinking experience. This award-winning brew has been popular for over 60 years, earning a dedicated following among beer enthusiasts who affectionately refer to it as Genny Cream or simply Genesee. Crafted with 6-row malt and Apollo hops, Genesee Cream Ale undergoes a unique process called krausening, which enhances carbonation using wort instead of sugar. This method contributes to its smooth texture and balanced flavor profile. Genesee Cream Ale has garnered national appeal despite its regional roots, becoming a year-round favorite. Its rich history and consistent quality have solidified its place in American brewing culture. As of its peak in the 1980s, Genesee Cream Ale was selling approximately 600,000 barrels annually. Unfortunately, declining demand led to its discontinuation in the 90s, marking the end of an era for this iconic beer.